afternoon. This is the special coverage of the coronavirus crisis using the combined forces of News 5 and Signal TV's 1 News, Radio 5 and 1PH. Posible nang buksan ngayong linggo ang ilang pasilidad sa Metro Manila na gagamitin bilang dagdag na COVID-19 quarantine centers. Sinisiguro rin ng gobyerno na may sapat itong kagamitan para sa pangangailangan ng mga pasyente. Para sa iba pang detalye, nagbabalita live si JC Cosico. JC.
Yes, Cheryl, alam mo, in-inspeksyon nga ng mga otoridad itong tatlong malalaking facilities sa Metro Manila na magsisilbing quarantine sites nga para sa mga mild at asymptomatic COVID-19 patients. Sama sa mga in-inspeksyon ni Health Secretary Francisco Duque III, Defense Chief Delfin Lorenzana, National Task Force Against COVID-19 Chief Implementer Carlito Galvez Jr. at BCDA President and CEO Vince Dizon, ang Ninoy Aquino Stadium sa Maynila na kaya ma-accommodate ng nasa 112 na patients. Meron silang kanya-kanyang cubicle, may sariling kama, upuan, side table at ilaw. Magsisimula tumanggap ang pasyente ang pasilidad simula sa Miyerkules dahil kailangan pang sumailalim sa final disinfection at sanitation procedures ng facility. Sunod naman pinuntahan ang PICC sa Pasig City kung saan ang mga form halls nito ang magsisilbing pasilidad para nga sa halos 300 na pasyente. Nagpatuloy pa rin nga yung konstruksyon sa mga cubicle sa mga hall para magsilbing kwarto ng mga pasyente. Target ito maipagamit nga sa Biyernes. Ganito nga ang sitwasyon sa World Trade Center sa Pasay na nasa 502 na patients at sa linggo naman siya inaasahang maging operational. Ang mga medical staff mula sa AFP at PNP ang magsisilbing mga medical staff nito at mayroon ding lugar para sa mga kanila para di sila expose sa mga pasyente. Color-coded din ang kanilang mga cubicle at nursing stations para nakasentro lang ang mga medical staff sa mga pasyenteng assigned sa kanila. DPWH at pribadong sektor nga ang nagtulong-tulong para nga sa conversion ng mga facilities. Ayon pa kay Duque, pwede ba magbago ang plano sa mga ito depende nga sa demand. Ibig sabihin daw nito kung mas marami ang itinuturing ng mga persons under investigation o mga PUI ay maging sensitive sila sa dapat na silang tugunan ito. Pero sa ngayon daw ay patuloy pa rin silang ayon sa napakasunduan ay ilalaan lamang itong mga facilities ito para nga sa COVID-19 positive cases na mild at asymptomatic. Samantala hindi naman masagot ni Duque ang tungkol doon sa extension ng Enhanced Community Quarantine sa Luzon at inaasahan naman na bago matapos nga ang linggo ay magkakaroon na nga ng desisyon ng IATF tungkol dito. Narito nga ang pahayag ni Duque.
It is very difficult to recommend at this very moment, as we are talking, because I still need to see the new data from the RITM and from our expert groups who are helping us in defining the parameters as a basis for a solid recommendation for the President's consideration. This is not an individual decision. It is a collective decision. So let's wait. Let's respect the IATF.
Cheryl, bukod nga sa mga ito, the government is also eyeing different quarantine sites. Kabila na nga dyan itong Philinvestent sa Muntinlupa City at Philippine Arena sa Bocaue, Bulacan. Cheryl?
Maraming salamat, JC Cosico. Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara wants LGUs to craft their own ordinances on the disclosure of COVID-19 patients. Guevara says he strongly supports the call to require coronavirus patients to waive the confidentiality of their medical condition. However, the cabinet official says it may take the Congress too long to pass a related bill. He is instead urging local leaders to craft ordinances which would deter discrimination of infected patients. Earlier this week, the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, the Philippine Medical Association, and the Philippine College of Surgeons jointly called for the disclosure of the health conditions of COVID-19 positive patients and PUIs. They believe this would enable other people who have been in close contact with the said individuals to take the necessary health precautions. Nililista na ng Regional Franchising and Regulatory Offices ng LTFRB ang pangalan ng mga tsuper na makatatanggap ng ayuda mula sa gobyerno. Kabilang ang PUV drivers sa beneficiaries ng Social Amelioration Program sa ilalim ng Bayanihan to Heal as One Act. Nasa 5,000 hanggang 8,000 pesos ang maaari nilang matanggap depende sa regional maximum subsidy sa kanilang lugar. Nagsimula ng mamigay ng cash aid ang gobyerno sa tinatayang 18 million low-income families sa bansa. Good vibes naman tayo. Kakaiba at agaw atensyon ang personal protective equipment ng isang residenteng namili sa grocery sa Pasig. Hindi lang basta naka-face mask o naka-PPE ang netizen na si Paulo Belleza. In full Power Rangers costume lang naman siya habang namimili sa supermarket. Kumpleto mula sa helmet, suit at morpher ni Black Ranger ang kanyang get-up. Ayon sa kay Paulo, gusto lang daw niyang maghatid ng good vibes ngayong humaharap tayo sa COVID-19 crisis. We'll continue the discussion over One News, One PH, and Radio 5. For now, that's the latest on the COVID-19 pandemic. For News 5, I'm Cheryl Quasim. We are One News.
Good afternoon, I'm Danny Laurel reporting to you on the markets and the economy live from my home here in Muntinlupa, the headlines and what you guys need to know today. Now, we are anticipating the decision whether i-extend ba itong enhanced community quarantine. The idea is baka for 2 weeks pa. While we are waiting, the government is now rolling out some measures to help out the economy. So first of all, you've got the Department of Trade and Industry. Sabi nila na pwede na raw mag-operate at up to 50% capacity ang mga essential businesses at also meron na ring exemption of some import taxes, especially for companies na mag-i-import ng mga medical supplies. Meanwhile, NEDA naman nagko-conduct ng online public consultation. Baka nakuha nyo yung mga text messages na ma-fill out itong mga surveys to help them prepare economic policies after matapos na itong pandemic. Meron din ang Bangko Sentral nagre-reassure sa publiko na meron silang policy space for more rate cuts. So baka bumaba pa ang interest rates ng mga loans. This is going to be well or bode well for the banking sector, especially since right now marami na ring nagpa-flag ng risks of possible default, the latest being global data. And some very, very good news this Monday. Markets closing the first trading day of the week at 5570.81. If you don't know how important this is, not just a 4 2/10% surge in one day, but 20% up since our lowest low of March 19. We are now in bull market territory. So let's kick off on the economic front. The DTI easing restrictions on essential producers. So, meron ngayong Memorandum Circular 2011, pwede na yung mga enterprises na kasama sa supply chain, lalo na sa pagkain, na mag-operate up to 50% capacity. In fact, kung kinakailangan na more than 50%, pwede rin sila mag-lift ng restrictions temporarily para to keep, our grocery shelves, let's say, stocked to give food and supplies to people. They're also encouraging businesses na kung pwede man lang, magbigay rin ng temporary accommodations and shuttle services para sa mga frontline workers na ito. So ano tong mga manufacturers? Food, essential products, medicines, but not just, logistic services din, power, energy, water, technology, and also, of course, our stock markets here. Apart from that, exporters then and BPOs kasama na rin sa list na ito. Another thing that the government is doing sa ngayon ay nag-exempt sila ng import tax, at least for this 3-month validity period ng Bayanihan Act. So ano ito? Yung mga nag-i-import na kumpanya ng mga test kits, thermal scanners, ventilators, pati na rin mga alcohol, sanitizers, hindi na nila kailangan magbayad ng import duties, taxes, and fees para at least ma-encourage na rin sila to import these much needed supplies. Another thing that the government is doing, the DTI is saying they will grant 30 days of grace period for rent payment. So, hindi lang yung mga tao katulad natin na nangungupa, hindi natin kailangan magbayad within 30 days. We can pay that later on and wala tayong fees and penalties na may incur together na rin with other commercial establishments. So, for example, yung mga tenants na nasa mall na kailangan magbayad, hindi sila makabayad dahil sarado yung negosyo, pwede silang magantay ng 30-day period before they start paying this period at walang mga penalties and fees. Other news here, you've got food companies. I had discussed this earlier na congested na yung ports natin, up to 98% capacity na dahil walang taong kumukuha ng mga bagay dun sa ports. Sinabi na nila may 7 days ang mga kumpanya na kumuha ng mga cargo. Kasama na rin dito ang Jollibee, for example, McDonald's, San Miguel, Procter & Gamble. They have all these things stuck in the ports. They need to get that. If not, kukunin na yun ng gobyerno. At kung magagamit pa itong mga bagay, gagamitin na lang ng government yan. Apart from that, I mentioned in the headlines, NEDA preparing post-recovery economic policies, but they really need our help. So they've been texting people. It's all over our Viber and group chats. You can see on your screens here how you can participate as a person, part of this economy, as a citizen, a concerned citizen. Go to the website and give your input on ano pang pwedeng gawin ng gobyerno para matulungan ang ekonomiya natin. Now, you've got Finance Secretary Sonny Dominguez saying, we need the surveys, so it will help the economic team in focusing especially sa mga MSME. So yung mga taong may mga malilit na negosyo dyan, importante din ang input nyo, mahalaga ito para sa gobyerno. Ano yung purpose nito? From tomorrow, after the survey is done, may progress report, and finally, may final report on April 13, so that's around next week, kung ano bang pwedeng gawin ng government to help sustain our businesses and economies. Now, moving on to the central bank, you've got Central Bank Governor Ben Diokno saying there is a real risk na maging technical recession dito sa Pilipinas. Anong ibig sabihin ng technical recession? 2 straight quarters of a contraction. So, walang growth na mangyayari. But still, he remains confident that they have a lot of room to cut interest rates, including the reserve ratio requirements. For depende lahat yan sa inflation. Inflation figures are coming out tomorrow. The consensus is 2.3%, so medyo mas mababa than we've normally seen. And recall that, in 2018, nung tumaas yung presyo ng mga bilihin, tinaas din ng central bank ang ating interest rates to keep our prices low, our inflation low. And they increased that by 1.75%. They've so far dialed that down by 1.5%. So there's still this, space for them to work on. And they've also mentioned that the RRR, so the amount na yung banks need to keep with the BSP to keep a safe buffer of liquidity, can now go as low as 10%. So with that, you're going to have more money. Banks are going to be able to give more loans to people that need the cash and liquidity right now. Now, this might be important, especially since we've had a barrage of houses and analysts saying that the banking sector is very much at risk. You've got the latest one, Andrew Haslip, from Global Data, saying that the bank's collective profit may go down by as much as, get this, 76% this year. He says that for our Philippine banks, we have 1 to 2 months of grace period for loans, especially during this ECQ. And this might actually result into non-performing loans. So basically, MSMEs, normal consumers like us who cannot pay back their loans, and that might be a big issue here, lalo na tourism, entertainment sectors. And he says that this will likely continue even after the pandemic is over, until he sees this lasting until 2022. So that's quite worrying there. Recall that this follows Moody's and Fitch that have already downgraded our outlook on banks from stable to it's now looking quite negative. Now let's move on to markets, guys, because that is the good news of the day. Take a look at your charts here. 5570.81. That is a big deal. That surge of 4 2/2%, and as I mentioned earlier on, 20% up since March 19. This is the second week of gains, and also we are the first major market, let's say in Asia Pacific, to be entering what we call bull market territory. So when this happens, usually analysts are hopeful na magko-continue. There's a momentum that might be happening. And you've got BDO research saying investor confidence is slowly trickling back in, lalo na with all of these concrete measures of the government starting to come in and make things clearer for people. June Kalay-Kaya of Philstock saying this is the first time we've seen all year. Of course, it's just April, but all year we have not seen 2 weeks straight of gains. So this is a big deal. And he also says that there's a good chance that the stocks have already possibly bottomed out, and there's already some bargain hunting. This optimism comes amid these rumors that we might actually be seeing an extended 2-month period, and some traders are saying that they're actually looking at this favorably. So people are quite happy, investors are happy na mangyayari itong extension. Another thing to be noting here, we only have 3 trading days. Shortened palalo dahil sa Holy Week. And 2Trade Asia is saying that this might be a good time for people to be reflecting on what they want to do with their money, and that might actually bode well for the markets because people might calm down and think more long-term instead of just panic selling. Now, very quick check on our sectors here. You're going to be seeing all the major sectors in the green. So that is 6 out of 6. Industrials in particular up by 0.8%. Services close to 7% gains. And just your leaders and laggers, double-digit gains from many companies, especially when you talk about retail and service space. You're going to be seeing RRHI, the best performer here. Recall RRHI bought Robinson Supermarket. Okay, so that's actually up by 14.3%. Another one, a big favorite right now of analysts, is URC. That is up by 13.3%. That surged the most in 16 years in just one day. Globe Telecom as well, a lot of analysts had been looking at that even before the lockdown. That is up by 12.2%, the most in 9 years. Trading volumes doubling in just one day. Now, speaking of URC, more on that. You've got several analysts, this one from Charlene Reyes of First Resources Management, saying consumers are stocking up on just staples. You've got noodles, instant coffee, snacks. So this bodes well for URC, the giant. You've also got one saying that consumers are continuing to buy the URC products despite these issues here. This is a good staple, or have been seen as very resilient to this crisis, so to speak. Another thing on that company, they've actually also started offering shields for health workers. This is URC versus the virus. So they're donating a film that they can use for frontliners. So they have this packaging film that they use para sa pag-package ng mga produkto nila. Gagamitin na raw nila or dodonate nila sa mga frontlines. And also, dinodonate nila sa sister company nila, Robinson's Bank, para yung mga bank tellers meron din silang protective shield. So, very interesting. Another one on consumer I wanted to share here, Shakey's, gradually to reopen more outlets in the next few weeks. So, baka magkakapizza na rin back on track. Other corporate news, other openings, let's say, gradual reopenings. We've got Nickel Asia. They are set to resume operations in Surigao del Norte. Recall that they had shut this down, and that was producing close to 60% of their output in 2019. Ngayon, pwede na raw sila mag-open ulit. But you've got, on the other hand, Holcim Philippines. Of course, they do cement. Sila naman nag-suspend sa Davao plant. So, hindi sila mag-ooperate ng cement plant sa Davao until quarantine ends on April 19. And finally, as usual, just ending my market hit with some good news. Private sector still pitching in, and I've got some new ones here helping out. You've got the Villar Group together with EEI Corp and the DPWH. They're trying to transform 4,000 square meters ng PICC into a COVID-19 facility, so for quarantine facility, for 630 patients. The Gokongwei brothers, they've started spending the 100 million peso fund that they have for the COVID-19 outbreak. SM Foundation donating masks, alcohol, etc. I like this one also, interesting. Sea Oil, they're giving e-vouchers to more than 20 hospitals for basically free fuel para makaikot yung mga medical frontliners nila. PLDT, nagbibigay na rin ng free smartphones sa mga COVID-19 hospitals. Republic Cement, nagbibigay ng rice sa Bulacan. That's 200 sacks of 50 kilograms of rice. And finally, we've got LBC Express. They're spending 50 million pesos to buy 2-ply face masks na i-distribute nila sa mga communities at risk. So far, good news for the day. Let's hope that this momentum keeps on for the rest of the trading week. That's a first look into the day, or actually, it's not necessarily a first look. It's a look into this business day, April 6, 2020. That's a Monday. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Danny Laurel, and we are One News.